Hi guys, it's Hayley here from HRC Recruitment, and I'm popping on today to discuss my top tips and hints for writing a good quality CV. A lot of the candidates that we work with do express some difficulty and struggles when formatting a CV and what should and shouldn't be included in the CV. So I've included a CV to the right side of me, which should give you some examples of how to lay out your CV and what things to include. So you always want to make sure that your CV is plain and simple to read. There's no fancy or creative designs unless you're applying for a role where that will back up your knowledge and skill sets. So if you are applying for a role that is creative and design led, then feel free to make a fancy or designed CV. Otherwise, I would advise to just make it as plain and simple and as easy to read as possible. You also want to make sure that you're including the correct contact details, so your name, your phone number, and your email address. Just make sure that you review these details, ensure that it's the correct mobile number, there's no digits missing, and that your email address is spelled correctly. I would also suggest including your notice period, as this just kind of speeds up the process and allows future employers to know how long your notice period is. The next section would be your personal profile, which is where you're able to include a brief snapshot of your experience and how that's relevant to the role that you're applying for. So, for example, if you are applying for a personal assistant role, you want to reiterate that you have a wealth of experience as a personal assistant. I would steer away from including hobbies and interests in this section unless your hobby and interest directly relates to the role that you're applying for. The next section is where you're able to state your current and previous employment. So you want to make sure that this is in chronological order with your most recent employment at the top. Please ensure that all your details are correct. So the title of your job, the dates that you've worked there, and ensure that everything's laid out in bullet points, again, just so it's easy and clear for the hiring manager to read. You can include your reason for leaving if you do wish to do so. However, there's no pressure. If you want to leave that out, you can do so. But sometimes employers will ask in an interview, so it just means that you're ahead of that question. The next section would be your education. So you want to include all relevant education and qualifications. So if you have a degree, if you have any qualifications that are relevant to the role, for example, if it's a project management role, you could put your project management qualification. So anything that again will back up your knowledge and skill set for the role that you're applying to. And then from there, there's nothing much more that you would need to include. Again, I don't include any hobbies or interests on any CVs that I format purely because they're not relevant to the role. Again, if they are relevant to the role, then absolutely feel free to include these in the CV. Some more tips would be to use a spell check program like Grammarly. Get someone else to read it over just to make sure that it all makes sense, that everything's laid out correctly. Send it to a friend in the format that you would send it to a hiring manager, just again to make sure that everything's laid out correctly, that the format hasn't jiggled anything about, and that everything is laid out plain and simple for the hiring manager to see. Creating a CV can be quite a stressful time, and obviously applying for a job can be a stressful time as well, especially in this current climate. That is why us guys at HRC Recruitment are here on hand to help you with any problems or struggles that you're having. If you are having difficulty formatting your CV, or you just need some help or someone to have a wee look over it, then please feel free to reach out to myself or any of my colleagues at HRC Recruitment. You can find all of our details on our website, or you can find my details directly below this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye bye.